What is this? No, seriously, what is this? I guess they saw their last season, scoffed, and said,
yeah, we had a great time there.
welcome to FM26, I guess. Since we're in the Premier League though, the club of choice is rock bottom Wolves.
We're going down, simple as that.
Having been founded in 1877 and thus being the 15th oldest club in Britain, Wolves haven't had the greatest of times lately. You know it's not great when the success era ended in the 70s. Since the founding of the Premier League, the West Midlands club has yo-yoed between the first and third tier, before ultimately securing promotion back up in 2018. But now it looks far worse. So this guy is here to save them. Småen Dyche.
Come on, let's have something real, come on.
He's a serial hothead who'll look to bring some stability and ruggedness
Brexit means Brexit.
to the side that's failed to win a game this season, even losing to Burnley.
Fuck them all off.
The start to my reign at Wolves started with some recruitment, obviously, but I wasn't that successful in closing the deals, as Ruben Neves wanted that Saudi money and Tella wanted to join a disastrous West Ham side instead of us.
What are you doing with your... Go do something!
But at last we brought in our first signing. Nicolas Seiwald came in from Leipzig. Wonder kid Rodrigo Mora also came in, on loan from Porto with a buy option, to keep the Portuguese identity going. Before some trouble came. I didn't register Bellegarde for the Prem as I wanted him out. So he got mad along with these four who came waltzing into my office. I said, okay, I'll sell him if that's what it takes. So Bellegarde handed in his transfer request and all was good. This guy is playing some 4D chess right now. But it turned out not to be the end of that story. Man City is our first game. My first game on FM26. So I'm excited. Through to João Gomes, plays Rodrigo Mora on his debut! Come on! What a signing! Get in! Arias with the corner. Strand Larsen hits the ball. Yes! Rodrigo Mora on his debut again! A debut brace, bro! In 10 minutes! Oh my god! Oh my days! How have we done that? So we had to play the game again. Great stuff, Sports Interactive. Great stuff. And now they dominate. Instead of us being 2-0 up 10 minutes in, they even got a pen. You missed it! Sa made another save, before two woodwork hits followed as we approached halftime. In the second half though, our first highlight came. Arias through to João Gomes. João Gomes into the box. Play! Strand Larsen! We scored from our first chance, straight from kickoff in the second half. Larsen. Then continued the dominance, but Jose Sa was on form. So we steal a 1-0 win against Manchester City, which I must say is deserved after the game crashed on me last time. Two more wins followed, as Mora had a masterclass against Bournemouth with this assist, and then as he got the pen in the 90th minute, which Strand Larsen slotted in, despite me questioning his footedness. Where is left-footed? No? And then the second win against Everton, with the Gomeses getting one each. But then came the continuation of the Bellegarde saga. Despite wanting to leave the club, he keeps rejecting offers to leave, and he's seriously getting on my nerves. Well, at least Whoever has gone, in addition to Doherty. And we've got another couple signings in, as Joe Bellingham has joined on loan, as well as Fredrik Sjöwall from Bodø Glimt. I actually wanted to bring in Rynos from Dortmund, but he chose Brighton instead. A couple injuries to key players wasn't ideal going away to Newcastle, so it ended in a 3-1 loss despite actually taking the lead and Sa saving another pen. At home to Leeds, I expected an easy win, but it never came. Instead, we were 2-0 down inside 35 minutes. And conceding a pen 20 minutes before the end won't really help. So we lost 3-1. Now it was time for 2 games against Spurs in 4 days. First an energy drink cup. Job and Arias turned out to be the most insane duo I've seen in a single game, as Job got a hat-trick and an assist, and Arias got a goal and a hat-trick of assists.
It's the history of the Tottenham.
A much-needed win followed against Brighton at the Molineux, with Strand Larsen having the time of his life. His tackle in midfield led to a tap-in from Rodrigo Gomez's pass seconds later, before he also got an assist to Mora half an hour later. And I'm just gonna let you watch this one. Strand Larsen with a brilliant ball over the top to Mora. Mora goes inside the box. Oh! Bro! You have to have some serious balls to do that at 18. Away to Sunderland, we dominated, but still managed to find a way to lose, as Totti gave them a pen with 10 minutes remaining. So Habib Diarra converted it as they got all 3 points from a single chance. Against Burnley though, Hwang Hee-chan the man came off the bench to get us all 3 points in a game we dominated. With that win, we climbed into the UCL spots, so I was feeling rather confident. So that confidence is gone, and that showed in the league as well. With us failing to win a game for 14 matches, we became incapable overnight, as we only picked up 4 draws in those games as well, to find ourselves in a relegation zone all of a sudden, much like in real life. The board have even called me into their boardroom to discuss my future, where I was forced to promise that a month would turn it all around. I genuinely believed so though, as I'd made some bold moves in the transfer window. To make some money available, since no one wants to leave permanently, I sold some clauses, which you can do in the scouting window thing. I sold a lot of them in fact, to be able to bring in Karim the Dream Adeyemi. 30 million upfront and the same in installments was enough, before also finally getting our guy Ruben Neves back to Wolves. He had his contract terminated in Saudi and at last agreed to an acceptable contract. And then Antonio freaking Nusa accepted a bid to join the club as well. We're building a dangerous attack. But Rodrigo Mora won't be a part of said attack, with Dortmund probably looking to replace Adeyemi honestly, activating Mora's release clause of 60 million to bring an end to his stay at Wolves, where this goal was the last thing he did. To sort of replace him though, we brought in Troy Parrott from AZ Alkmaar, and finally we brought in Igo Ogbu from Slavia Prague, which is a huge signing at the back. To make things even better, Santiago Bueno, who got angry with his playing time, as well as Bellegarde, have finally left the club on loan with mandatory future fees. Things are good in Wolverhampton at the moment, and now...
I just hope we can win a game!
Wolfe, the man who was born to play for this club, put in a great performance against relegation rivals Bournemouth, by putting the ball on a silver platter for Adeyemi to head home just 4 minutes in, before also playing through Job to double our lead 13 minutes later. We then completely shut them out to finally get a win again. 14 games since our last win. And all we needed was to spend 200 million in the market. Chelsea at home was next. A Chelsea side that's performed so badly that Enzo Maresca had been sacked. We took advantage of that, as Troy Parrott scored his first for the club from Neves' smart pass through half an hour in. An incredible save from Sa followed, before the inevitable happened 12 minutes later. Pedro Neto made our defense look like Sunday League players to equalize it. And 5 minutes later, we conceded again, all because of our defenders simply standing there and watching the ball go past them. Now though, it's time for Dyche versus Dyche 2. How did V1 go? Well, let's not talk about that. Let's put that behind us, and let's beat my distant relative. Well, nothing is happening until the 50th, as Adeyemi combines with Chachua down the right, before pulling it back for Arias to tap in. And now I do something my distant relative would be proud of. Park the bus. And it worked. They created nothing. And we win 1-0 away to Nottingham Forest, which means 1-1 in the Dyche battle. Adeyemi carried his form into our away game to Crystal Palace, as he first scored this and did a little dance. He then combined with Seivald and Sjöwall, which ended in an incredible solo goal for the latter, before finally getting his second and our third as he made a great cutting run in from his right flank position to get us a 3-1 away win. Top 4 side Aston Villa was next, and we started brilliantly. Our entire left side did so well to combine for Arias' opener 16 minutes in. Just look at this! Not a lot happened otherwise, with Sa's great save being the only real highlights, since we'd swapped to our super defensive tactic, which means another win. The league leaders by 12 points was up next, as Liverpool came to visit. Wirtz, the league's top scorer, continued like he'd done all season, but luckily it was offside. 4 minutes later, we scored an offside goal of our own, only that our goal wasn't offside. Approaching the interval, Totti somehow missed this, before the inevitable happened with 20 minutes to go. Wirtz tapped it home to equalize it, but since we once again changed our tactic halfway through, we got another great result. 1-1 against the back-to-back Premier League champions is rather insane for a side like Wolves. A shock 1-0 loss to Brentford followed, all because of João Gomes doing this. For the rest of the season, however, we went unbeaten. A 1-1 draw against Arsenal was the highlight, as Seiwald equalized it from this fine Nusa cross. 2-2 with West Ham, a 1-0 win against Leeds, a 1-1 draw with Spurs, a dominant 3-1 win over Sunderland, 2 draws with Brighton and Fulham, and finally a 2-1 win away to Burnley meant we finished 14th in our first ever season on FM26. It was a season of many moods, and an out-of-this-world resurgence in the second half of the season was very much thanks to some ballsy moves in the winter window, eventually ensuring our place in a Premier League, meaning the fans are more optimistic than ever. A new season means a fresh start, with the aim now being European football. But with the defense almost as leaky as Tom Holland whenever he gets a new script, and with our supposed goal scorers, well, not scoring, signings were needed. Now, in early October I went to Lisbon and watched Sporting play Braga. One pretty unknown name surprised me with his ability. Hidemasa Morita was a very solid defensive midfielder for the Lisbon side. Why the storytelling? Because we signed him to Wolves on a free. So a personal scouting mission by yours truly. With the budget being less than impressive,
What is this?
we had to offload some players. A big thank you has to go to Saudi, because they signed Andre for 60 million, Tommy Doyle for 25 and Totti for 15. With the Saudi money, none other than Gonzalo Ramos came in. Since he didn't get the playing time he wanted under Enrique at PSG, he wanted to go to the Prem. But I never thought he'd pick us. At this point, I tried to get Josh King from relegated Fulham, but he chose Sheffield United instead, who got relegated.
It's a hard feeling to describe.
So instead of him, we brought in someone that had interest from Real Madrid and Chelsea. Alex Scott has signed for Wolves. We also had another DM come in, a youngster this time, in Matvey Kisliak from CSKA Moscow, before also bringing in some depth in defense, with Ayer coming in from Brentford. It wasn't all sunshine and rainbows though, with Antonio Nusa ruining his hip and being out for 3 months. So I obviously replaced him with Ansu Fati from Barca, who was bad. Like really bad. And so was everyone against Fati's former club Brighton in the season opener. We literally conceded less than a minute in, and twice more before the break. It didn't really help that Adeyemi got one back, because they scored a fourth to humiliate us on opening day. It might have something to do with the injuries. Our newly formed attack responded to a Brighton beating though, with Fati doing well, and mix that with a bit of luck and you get a Gonzalo Golazo. A quick response from Everton followed, with Alcaraz getting it back level 4 minutes later. And not long into the second, Njai got to do whatever he pleased. Then it was our turn to respond quickly, with this liquid football move finished off by Gomes. We then got the win. The poor start continued with a 3-1 loss away to Spurs, before somehow losing to West Ham in the Carabao Cup, as they converted all their pens. So at this point we needed some reinforcements. That's where Alberto Costa comes in, for 56 million from Porto, and he's going straight in at right back. That's helped. Eventually at least, with Adeyemi opening the scoring on the cusp of halftime. Despite whatever this is happening, Alex Scott got his goal late on to get a 2-0 win over newly promoted Ipswich to get our first win of the season. I also saw the need to bring in a new goalie to replace old man Sa. So who better than even older man Szczesny?
Here's my number,
He got off to a quiet start, as we hammered West Ham 5-1 to get revenge for the Carabao Cup loss. Ramos got a brace in the first half to go in 3-1 up at the break. Here the game froze on me though, so I didn't get to see the final 2 goals. A long-term injury to Fuzzy and a disappointing 1-1 draw with Brentford followed, before it was time to go to the Stamford Bridge, where Enzo Maresca had obviously gone, but where Unai Emery had taken over. He said sayonara to Aston Villa, where now Jose's joined. These guys and loyalty are just no. Just no. No. New signing Alberto Costa decided it was time for him to introduce himself on the pitch, so he did this to give us the lead. But then they scored 4 goals in a row, without any response. A late attempt at a comeback was too late, with Chelsea adding a 5th, before we got another one back at the death to make it a bit less embarrassing. 2 late 2-1 wins against Crystal Palace and Newcastle came next, before realizing the fixture list for November. I guess you had fun with that one, huh? Some fun news for us at least. Amorim has been sacked by Brighton. Yeah, Brighton! That's his 2nd sacking in just over a year.
I'm in danger!
Unsurprisingly, a bombardment of chances came against us with Haaland and Man City on the other side. But Szczesny held firm, with a bit of help from the post. That was literally it though. No more chances, as a 0-0 draw was the result. It's the sacking season apparently, with Småen Dyche being relieved of his duties at Nottingham Forest. That turned out to not be the smartest move, with relegation being the next stop. Arsenal at home followed, with 2 world-class strikers facing off. Ramos opened the ball with a real striker's finish not long into the second. But because of Bueno, and really anyone, not wanting to square up to Saka in fear of being embarrassed, he went through our team with ease to find Gyökeres, who scored off the bar. So another draw. Some unrest in the dressing room of course came crashing out before our important game at Old Trafford. Arias thinks he should play more, and so does 4 others as well, with Adeyemi being on smoke, as he's clearly more of an Arias fan than a Scott fan. I just said I don't agree, so Arias is probably gone in January. Hey, bars. Luke Shaw opened the game by giving us a pen. Appreciate it, Luke. So, ironically enough, John Arias, in place of an injured Nusa, slotted it past Onana. A huge save from Sa to the nice Seshko followed, before our sub Ayer pushed the late to get them a pen. That's basically the first thing he did. Bruno Penange steps up. And he misses! I guess he's not Fernandes anymore. They then came close again in the 85th, and I don't know how that hasn't gone in. After all that though, their equalizer came just 3 minutes later through Seshko. I'll take the draw though. Oh my god. Gonzalo Ramos came through against Burnley and Eddie Howe's Nottingham Forest, with back-to-back hat-tricks. But injuries and players without a proper brain was doing my head in going into hosting Liverpool at the Molineux. And despite Slot crediting me with wonderful work, it seemed to do the trick against them, with a 2-0 loss. A wonder goal from Nusa made it a 2-1 win against Leeds, before Josh King broke our hearts for the 2nd time to draw 1-1 with the worst side in the league. Then a deserved 1-1 draw with Jose's defensive Aston Villa and a shock 2-1 loss to Norwich closed out the first half of the season, as we sit in 9th. It's a big improvement from last season, but we should be higher. We did something about that in the next 12 games, with an immaculate unbeaten streak lasting all the way until a 3-1 loss to, guess who? Jose's Aston Villa. A 2-0 win over Spurs was the first. A scrappy 1-0 win over Ipswich was the second, as we scored with 10 men on the pitch, before Szczesny thought he was Neymar. We pulled it back thanks to Nusa's beauty though, to get a 2-2 draw. A boring 1-0 win over Brighton, a bullshit 1-1 draw with West Ham, an annoying 2-2 draw with Brentford as we got saved by Strand Larsen at the death, and a 4-2 hammering of Burnley thanks to Ramos's brace was the fact that we went into our game with Manchester United. 2 early chances arrived for Adeyemi, but he missed both. Hang on a second though, look at this! The goal line technology is literally showing that the ball was in. What is this? Okay, moving on. Adeyemi got another chance 20 minutes later, only that this time he got pushed. So we get a pen against Man U again. The league's top scorer Gonzalo Ramos steps up and slots it in. Nothing really happened until a magic show from Antonio Nusa with 15 to go. Just look at this, it's beautiful. It seems they only woke up in injury time, as Rashford, who's returned from the sunny state of Spain, scored a pity goal, with Wolves claiming all 3 points against the league leaders ahead of the game. 2 boring 0-0 draws with Leeds and Arsenal followed, before 3 or 4 attackers got a goal against Nottingham Forest. Nusa then had a time of his life, with a brace and an assist against Norwich. Before our next game, I realized my contract is up at the end of the season, so I naturally asked for a new one. The board said, no, you don't deserve one yet. What? We're literally 5th in the Premier League. I even threatened to leave my post as manager, and he said, fine, are you sure you want to do that? So I had to back down. This guy has balls of steel, or maybe a brain of steel, because he's not that smart. The famous defeat to Jose's Aston Villa. We even took the lead, just 4 minutes in. But that's what made us collapse actually, as they scored 3 straight to end our miracle run. Speaking of miracle runs, we've had a bit of a cup run. As we got Arsenal in the FA Cup 3rd round, things weren't looking good, with them even taking the lead. But with them somehow sitting 8th in the league and Arteta being gone, and bloody David Moyes linked with the job, we got back at them. The machine up front, Gonzalo Ramos, made it happen with his 3rd hat-trick of the season. Then followed way easier games, against the likes of Leyton Orient, with Parrott getting a hat-trick. Championship side Fulham, with our 2 centre-backs getting on the score sheet. And an easy 5-2 hammering of Everton, with Adeyemi getting a hat-trick this time, to send us through to Wembley and the semi-final. There, we'd face Manchester United, now managed by Vincenzo Italiano. There was only a single highlight though, with Matvej Kisliak scoring on an open goal, because Ogbu's shot got blocked and in turn sent Lamens. So we're through to the final of the FA Cup, in just our 2nd season. A late comeback against Sheffield United followed in our return to league action, as Ayer saved us with 15 to go. Then another late winner, this time from Rodrigo Gomes as we beat Crystal Palace as well, before the Parrot got us all 3 points once again, this time against Newcastle. His goal looked very much like offside, but I won't complain if the VAR was on holiday. We've now officially qualified for the Conference League, but we're very much in with a chance of getting UCL football, even if we have Liverpool, Man City and Chelsea left. Liverpool away at Anfield. A Liverpool side fighting for the title, so it won't be easy. Yeah, won't be easy as I was saying. Alex Scott made her game again just before the interval, with Adeyemi being the assister. And then this happened. What have I just witnessed? Wow. 3 minutes later though, and we conceded a 4th as well. To throw the hard work in the toilet. Hang on, we've got one back. It's not enough though. It's never enough against Liverpool apparently. Against Man City, it wasn't even a game. Szczesny, with a bit of help from the post, did his best to keep out the demigod of football. But when the second half came, and Wolfe, being the nice Norwegian he is, giving away the ball, Haaland gave us the sucker punch going into the final game. Chelsea at home. The winner gets 5th. Well, it's still important, with the coefficients possibly getting England a 5th UCL spot. Less than 20 seconds in, the lap scored this. Luckily, it was offside. 25 minutes later, in the 25th, Adeyemi got the ball from right back Costa, played a 1-2 with Seiwald before saying fuck it, I'll go on my own. Chelsea created squat, so we take the win and the 5th spot. Which, a couple weeks later, means UCL football is coming to the Molineux. But first, a certain final is up. Following an outrageous season last season, where they won the quadruple, Liverpool had a lot of silverware to defend. They'd been successful in the Energy Drink Cup, but had failed in the Premier League to Manchester United? Well, I guess they just had to get rid of Amorim. And they'd failed in the UCL, losing to eventual winners PSG in the semis. So they'd want to get at least another trophy. That was put on ice as Alex Scott got the opener from Adeyemi's Rabona pass 3 minutes in. But the trophy was swiftly back in play as Wirtz got the equalizer after some ping pong. A post hit for each team and some big saves from both goalies meant a 1-1 draw as the full-time whistle was blown. Just 2 minutes into the first half of extra time though, Kislyak and Adeyemi put together a nice move down the right, with the latter eventually squaring it for the Parrot to tap in. As we started the second half of extra time, I put on Rodrigo Gomes, which turned out to be the biggest mistake in my coaching career, because he decided to do this 7 minutes after coming on. And in the 117th, Sjöwall, another sub, cleared the ball into Virgili, who then tried to shoot, which Szczesny pumped straight out to Isak, for him to score on the gaping goal to send it to pens. When I clicked continue to go to the penalties, it said that we'd already missed our first pen. I didn't even get to see it. Goalscorer Isak stepped up first for Liverpool, and he just about got it past Szczesny to give them the advantage. Kislyak then slotted in our actual first pen, at least the first one I saw, then started the process of everyone slotting theirs. Wirtz, Fati, Soboslai, Wolfe, Curtis Jones, and Troy Parrott. Which means Szczesny has to save Gravenberch's pen. He gets sent the wrong way, and we lose the FA Cup final in the most heartbreaking fashion. But why care about that when you have UCL football? Pep Guardiola, the man that revolutionized football as we know it. Or, ruined it.
I destroyed football.
The La Masia product has always been up for the big jobs, and he's still doing that, as he's joined Arsenal. Yep, Pep's gone from Champions League side Manchester City to join Conference League side Arsenal.
Really?
Anyway, for us it means not much really, as we're still facing Pep, just at a different team. Nevertheless, in January of last season, we had some dismay at the club. So Fer Lopez, Jackson Chachua, John Arias and Strand Larsen all left the club, in addition to Troy Parrott now being sold to Nottingham. To get the squad numbers back up, we brought in wonder kid Francesco Camarda, as well as a new goalie in Konstantis Solakis from Olympiakos. He's a good and tall goalie, who also conceded 6 to Barca. He somehow topped that in just his second game for the club, as Everton beat us 7-0. Yeah. 7-0, and Thierno Barry scored 6 of them.
Man, the first time was so nice, I had to do it 6 times.
We did at least beat Burnley thanks to this great header from Ramos. That was assisted by Antonio Nusa, who then scored a brace to ensure a 3-1 win was secured at home against newly promoted Swansea. A horrible performance away to Chelsea followed, as we lost 2-0. Before our only good performance so far, Nusa got injured for a month. We then expectedly hammered Barrow 5-1 in the Carabao Cup, with none other than our star signing getting the opener, as Chanusen scored this. He joined for his 70 million release clause at Frankfurt, but had started his Wolves career rather badly. That was kind of summed up with this miss. Fati got a brace later on in the first half, before the game froze at half-time again. So we ended up with a Fati hat-trick and a 5-1 win. Then came deadline day, where we signed William Pacho from PSG. He joins the club for a 62 million fee, but he also brought a world of trouble on the registration front. Since I had to register him, I therefore had to remove someone else. That someone was Kislyak, who, understandably, got pissed. So I sent him on loan to Sporting for the season. We also had Brahim Diaz lined up to join the club, but the paperwork didn't get through in time.
Are you serious right now, bro?
Arsenal away in the 5th league game. Our first meeting with the Pep version of Arsenal. They were good. Like, really good. Against Southampton we at least took the lead. Missed chance on missed chance was the theme going into halftime, where the game froze on me for the 100th time. So I instant resulted the game. And with goals from Ramos and Adeyemi to win it in the 93rd, we won 2-1. Our next game was against Jose's Aston Villa, with the special one claiming the clash was all about desire. So we went and beat them 3-0. Chanuzun showed his individual quality with this banger, before Adeyemi got a headed goal and Gonzalo Ramos made it 3 from the spot.
Uzbekistan job? Uzbekistan? Togo job? Congo job? I was even offered Fiji job.
Arsenal at home followed next.
Again.
Yeah, Arsenal again. I'm as confused as you are. Anyway, we had a blistering opening to the game, with Ramos and Neves getting one each to go in at the break 2 up. The Greek man Solakis kept us ahead with 2 solid saves, but had to see himself beaten at last. Marino got one back for the Gunners, before this from Subimendi somehow found its way in. A corner for Arsenal, so Gonzalo Ramos captured the ball from our clearance. He then played it to Ansu Fati, and the rest, as they say, is history. Fati continued against West Ham, as he got the assist for Ramos' goal with a Rabona pass. And then a late 1-0 win at home against Man U made it our 5th straight win. So with a strong start to the league campaign, we've got to get underway in Europe as well. Our first ever UEFA Champions League campaign starts away to Greek side Ajax. But it's without William Pacho, since he signed so late we couldn't register him in time. Anyway, Ogbu got pushed from a long throw of ours, so we get a pen to open our European endeavours. Our other centre-back, Ladislav Krejci, converted the pen, before Alex Scott got a tap-in rebound a few minutes before the break. And despite the second half goal from Grujic, we came away with all 3 points. Away to Galatasaray is next up, where starman Osimhen got underway not even 10 minutes in. Half that time though. And you get the time it took Fati to respond with this. Just like against Ajax, a long throw did wonders for us, with Igo Ogbu scoring with a nice half volley, trying to be too clever with our passing and Krejci not even trying to stop it, led to Zaniolo slotting in the equalizer right before the break, which was also the final result, and I'll actually take it, considering the hostile atmosphere where Bodø Glimt coach Kjetil Knutsen even had to wear earplugs. The European champions from the 2024-25 season is next, this time at the Molineux, as we host PSG. A single chance for each team was the verdict, as a nice move from their star-studded team led to Doué getting the opener. But, as Fati received the ball from Ruben Neves, he played Chanuzun through with a perfectly weighted pass, which the German pounced on to get a strong 1-1 draw with last year's finalists. Napoli away is next, and it's without last game's assister Fati, who's out for a month. The tree that is Lorenzo Luca was alone against 4 of our defenders, and somehow still found a way to score. Well, not score his goal, but a goal, as it bounced in off Solakis' ass. A nice link up between Nusa and Chanuzun made it 1-1 just before halftime though. And as we came out for the second half, Ruben Neves decided to do this. But the Man United reject McTominay did well 10 minutes later to make it yet another draw in this competition. And it didn't stop there, as we somehow only managed a 1-1 draw with an old schoolmate of mine, Jakob Napoleon Rumsos, and his Wolfsburg side. Neves got our goal from the spot, before Camarda somehow missed this. Against another German side, RB Leipzig, we got, guess what? Another draw. 0-0 this time. As these games are getting duller and duller, yet another German side is up, as we're away to Bayern. We need to get off to a good start. Counter here. Elise passed. Oh, for fuck's sakes, Morita. Bloody hell. So Parry Payne slots it in to take the lead. Urbig got a big save just before halftime, as it's literally in his name to be big. Before we finally got the equalizer 15 minutes into the second. Alex Scott started the move with his great switch of play, before Fati played it across for Chanuzun to tap in and get our 6th straight draw. which does mean we're unbeaten going into our final league phase game, and we actually need to win that to secure our way through. Athletic Bilbao is visiting the Molineux, and it seemed like that was all they were doing there, as they did not show up. Adeyemi got the opener 28 seconds in, before Gonçalo Ramos finally got his first UCL goal. Adeyemi then got his second of the night not long into the second, before an unknown name, Samim Kindred, got the fourth and final goal, which was also his first goal for the club. That meant a secure place in the knockout playoff round, as we return to league action. Now before that, Samim Kindred came through our youth intake in Småen Dyche's first season at the club, and after 2 very successful loan spells at Mansfield and Preston, he's now been recalled to help out the first team, and he's certainly done just that. He actually looks so promising as well, so he's definitely playing more. On our return to league action, we got an easy 1-0 win away to Palace, before getting a shock 2-0 loss to Fulham thrown in our face, partly done by former player Strand Larsen. After that, you might expect a thumping loss to Liverpool, who have signed bloody Jamal Musiala. But that never came. Despite going 1-0 down not even 3 minutes in, we completed a nice comeback early in the second half after Ramos had got the equalizer. And then Adeyemi got the winner. Another great win followed, with Chanusen getting the opener away to Newcastle. In addition to that, goals from Scott and Fati made it a 3-1 win. A blistering opening 20 minutes followed against Leeds. He cuts inside, shoots! Oh, what's a finish! Through to Chanusen. Chanusen plays it into Gonçalo Ramos, who taps it in and does a little dance. Ooh, ooh. By the corner flag. Plays it back to Ruben Neves. Get in. Ruben Neves. Then came a controlled 2-1 win against Norwich, who are managed by Amorim.
Say what?
Camarda finally got amongst the goals to get his first for the club, before he missed a sitter against Brighton to only get a 1-1 draw. The demigod of football and Man City are next, now managed by Unai Emery after Pep left. They're coming off the back of a 7-1 win over Liverpool, where the demigod got 5 of them. We're fucked, aren't we? That showed as well, with Haaland getting the opener. Straight from kickoff though, Alex Scott got the reply, before the same man conceded a pen straight from kickoff again, which, surprise surprise, Haaland slotted in. We got the reply so fast once again though, with Adeyemi the goal scorer this time. The second half was a lot less action-packed, but we eventually broke the deadlock, as Ramos scored a lucky goal from Chanusen's deflected shot. So a nice win making that. Nah, for fuck me, bro. I know. Stands there and gives them the ball. Thank you, you fucking idiot. Ryan Cherky into the box. Yeah. Seems about right. Fuck. So with a disappointing 1-1 draw with Brentford in a 19th league game, we're third, tied with Spurs in second. So we have a good chance of getting UCL football once again next year. But Pep's Arsenal don't. Wait, where's Pep? He's been sacked. Some sad news for us as well. Alberto Costas picked up a double hernia, and he's out for 3 months. That didn't matter against Spurs though, as Adeyemi smacked in the opener 19 minutes in. Then, this followed. Chanusen through... Oh, Rodrigo... No, fucking hell, we're playing so quick I can't even keep up. Chanusen! Yes, off the post! Get in! Abada did get one back for the Lily Whites in the second half, but Camarda got our third just minutes later to secure a huge 3-1 win. The Italian continued that against Swansea, as he got a brace in a 4-1 win. A boring 0-0 draw against an uninspired Chelsea side followed, before a simple 3-1 win over Everton transpired, to get our revenge for the 7-0 thrashing earlier this season. Another simple win came against Burnley, before we shockingly lost 3-2 to relegation fodder Southampton. With a lot of injuries and issues with registration, we'd need more homegrown players. So we brought in Mikey Moore on loan with an obligation to buy from Spurs. Then I saw that Matheus Nunes had got his contract terminated at Man City, so I swiftly picked him up as well. You really shouldn't take financial advice from the club with 115 charges, that's for sure. Our new signing, Mikey Moore, got his debut straight away against Chelsea in the Carabao Cup semi. We got there by beating Barrow, as mentioned, in addition to Aston Villa and Birmingham, but we lost 2-1 in the first leg against Chelsea, so we needed a performance of a lifetime. Mikey started by missing 2 huge chances before the break, but as he got the third, he finally converted to make the age-old saying come true. Third time's the charm. Nothing happened in the second half, which meant extra time, where the same lad stepped up again. Plays it back to Mikey Moore. Into the box! Yes! Mikey Moore is the hero! So we're through to the final. A shocking 4-0 loss to Newcastle followed, all because of our outrageous schedule at the moment. Our players are in desperate need of a rest, which isn't coming anytime soon, with Porto being next. We had a nightmare start, as they opened the scoring just 4 minutes in. Other than 2 big misses from Ramos, nothing really happened in the first half. But the second half, that was cinema. Just 10 minutes in, this happened. Nusa ran about 10 yards back to get a header, and somehow got enough power on it to score past Diogo Costa. That's the most incredible header I've seen on this game. Just under 20 minutes later, Camarda scored what I thought was a clear offside goal, but the VAR ruling was onside, so we lead. And then Nusa made the evening even better. He went solo, before playing it into Samim Kindred, who scores in his second UCL game in a row. As Samu Agahawa got injured before the second leg, we secured passage through to the round of 16 with a pretty nuts 3-3 draw in the second leg. Whatever it was that they threw at us, we simply replied. Nusa especially had a good game. The next 6 league games, we got some decent and expected wins, such as 2-1 against Leeds and 2-0 against Fulham, but we also lost, completely deservedly I might add, against both Liverpool and Amorim's Norwich. And as we lost 3-1 to Man City in the 33rd league game, it meant we were out of reach of the title. And we ended up finishing 5th once again this year, ultimately securing UCL football thanks to the coefficients. As for the Carabao Cup final, we were up against Liverpool. Shock. What was a shock though was that we dominated the game, but we couldn't convert, with Camarda, Nusa and Mikey Moore missing huge chances, and it ultimately meant that their superstar team converted their only chance to make it another heartbreaking final loss to Liverpool. We'd need to bounce back immediately though, with Bayern Munich coming to the Molineux for the round of 16. We did just that, as William Pacho, who's now been registered, scoring a dominant header 18 minutes in. They replied quickly through Luis Diaz however, as the goal came only 4 minutes after our opener. An end-to-end game so far, and it certainly continued, with Seiwald getting us back in the lead before Olise got past an overcommitting Wolfe with ease to equalize for the Bavarians once again. That goal came 5 minutes before halftime, and the next goal came just 5 minutes after it. Adeyemi was the scorer this time, as Pavlovic completely missed the ball from Seiwald's header up the pitch. So we have the advantage into the second leg. That didn't last long however. Barely a minute. Gets to go with the ball. Oh no, he goes past Wolfe way too easily, and they've already taken away our lead. 10 minutes later though, we got a pen, which Gonzalo Ramos converted. Not long into the second half, Harry Kane made our nightmares come true, and that meant extra time at the aggregate score of 4-4. And the game froze on me. As we're heading into extra time, it fucking froze. So I had to do an instant result again. And we won! We won on flipping pens! Parry Payne, their supposed best taker, had his penalty saved by Salakis. Everyone else scored, which meant that this pen from Nicolas Seiwald sent us through to the Champions League quarters. Before said quarters, we had an FA Cup quarterfinal to attend to. We got there by hammering Swansea, beating Bristol City 2-1 and beating Spurs 2-0 thanks to a nice brace from Camarda. The quarters went well too, with Camarda getting another goal, before Scott got a brace to make it a 4-1 win against Reading. Now it's time for the Champions League quarterfinal, where Liverpool awaits. At home in the first leg, we need a decent result to take to the difficult away game at Anfield. For a long time it looked like it would end 0-0 with Chanusson missing this. But as added time rolled around, so did our goal. With William Pacho once again scoring a dominant header from a corner. Just like against Bayern. A single thing happened in the second leg. And that was Isak going down so easily in our box, which somehow ended in a pen for them. And Salah sent Solakis the wrong way to send us to extra time and eventual penalties. We'd held on by a thread, with Solakis making this insane save. The thing that happened to us in the FA Cup final last year now happened to Liverpool, as Isak had already missed his pen apparently. So advantage us, with Chanusson stepping up. But he misses! It's not that much of a miss though, more of an insane save. Wirtz is next for the Reds, and he also misses as he hits the post. Ruben Neves is up for us. And the experienced Portuguese man makes no mistake as he sends Alisson the wrong way. Nico Williams, yeah, he's there too, then slotted his in, before Krejci also sent Alisson the wrong way. Up steps Szoboszlai now, to take Liverpool's fourth pen. And he misses. So if Ansu Fati scores for us, we're through to the semis. And he just about gets it past Alisson to send us through to the semis. This is the run of a lifetime. Before that though, we have Liverpool once again in the FA Cup semis. It feels like we're only playing Liverpool with the amount of times we've played them. We opened the game by opening the spaces for them, as Musiala got them the lead. But we got it back level straight away, literally a minute later. At the stroke of half time, we put together one of the moves of the century, all the way from Solakis to Adeyemi, who squared it for Scott to tap in and get us the win, as nothing happened in the second half. We're through to the FA Cup final again. We're just performing on every single stage right now. It's insane. But we had to keep that up, as we're away to Spurs in the Champions League semi-final. They dominated the game completely, with Alberto Costa helping Udogie along the way, by scoring an own goal 10 minutes in. An incredibly cheap pen was then awarded to them, which Brennan Johnson converted to make it 2-0, and a bleak first leg for us. Just 4 minutes before the end though, Camarda got one back for us to make it possible to complete a remontada.
Utter woke nonsense.
The remontada would have to be done without Ansu Fati though, with him out for a couple of weeks. We had an incredible end to the first half, as Nusa and Gonzalo Ramos got a goal each to complete the remontada already, but we needed to hold on to it now. That proved tricky, with Kulusevski getting it back level with 20 to go. 15 minutes later though, with 5 to go, this happened. Place it short to Scott, place it to Seiwald, through to Mikey Moore against his parent club! Yes! Mikey Moore, the hero! Getting! Mikey Moore against the club that technically owns him, and we're through to the final. The FA Cup final. An occasion you simply have to suit up for. For the second year running, Wolves would play at Wembley in the final, this time facing Everton. 16th placed Everton, but they have beaten us, pretty convincingly at that. The man that ruined us that day started his game by continuing that. Oh, that's a good pass through to Ouattara, and Barry's all alone in there! And there they have their opener. Barry keeps haunting us. 10 minutes later, Pickford made a huge save to stop Chanusson. Oh my god! That led to this corner though, which Ruben Neves with the corner. They get it cleared. Chanusson plays it out to Ruben Neves. Goes down to the byline. Antonio Nusa! Yes! Gets in! Let's go! Yes! 10 minutes after that again, we got another corner, which was once again failed, but picked up by one of our players. Ogbu picks it up though, plays it to Nusa, plays it to Alex Scott, into the box, to Adeyemi! Adeyemi gives us the lead! Come on! Let's go! A first half comeback! A bombardment of chances came against us in the second half, and especially in added time. Iliman and Jai plays it over to Dwight McNeil on the left. He whips it in. Barry! Oh, he was offside. Jesus Christ. Fucking hell. Pickford is in the box. Garner whips it in. Oh, fucking hell. This is so nervy. Less than a minute to go. James Garner. Oh! Oh! What a save. Yes, Mateus Nunes. Fatih. Back to Seiwald. Let's just keep the ball now. Pacho. 3, 2, Pacho. Yes! We're in the FA Cup final! Get in! Come on! Let's go! Yes! Come on! Our first major trophy with Wolves! Get in! Oh! Let's go! It was worth suiting up. A week after FA Cup glory, it's time for the Holy Grail, the UEFA Champions League final. There, we'd play Real Madrid. Of course it's them. It's always them. But this year, they'd have to cope without both their first team goalies, as Courtois and Lunin are both injured. We also had issues with injuries, with both Morita and Scott being out, while Gonzalo Ramos wasn't fully fit. We'd just have to deal with that though, as the time is here. We open the game by our right back fouling Vinny Jr. so unnecessarily, and getting a yellow in the process, just 5 minutes in. That's not ideal. Then, a great pass from Seiwald saw Chanuzun go through on goal. But he missed. By a mile. A minute later though, we put together a liquid football move. Seiwald, out to Alberto Costa, who already has a yellow. Adeyemi, nice passage of play. Alberto Costa takes it past Carreras, runs with the ball, back to Seiwald, back to Ruben Neves. Chanuzun through to Adeyemi, Karim Adeyemi off the post and in! We lead in the Champions League final! Yes, yes, yes! Come on! What an attack! An offside goal from them followed. Prior to this, down the line. Adeyemi, Seiwald to Alberto Costa, takes it past his man into the box. Alberto Costa across the box to Chanuzun. We lead 2-0 at the break. Oh my god, what the fuck? Come on. Oh. 2-0 up at the break in the Champions League final against Real Madrid. That's insane. Unfortunately, it didn't last long in the second half. They put together a nice move, with Rodrigo ultimately getting the ball on the right, in addition to way too much space. Rodrigo drives into our box! No. 5 minutes later, Solakis made this incredible save to stop Valverde's rocket foot. From that corner, Rodrigo got the ball, and simply humiliated us. Rodrigo picks up the poor clearance. Oh, come on! Rodrigo, no! Plenty more chances followed for Real Madrid, but we stood firm. This one from Arda Güler was insane though. I cannot believe he missed that. So extra time it is, where the only chance was this half chance for Camarda. And that means penalties, like so many times before this campaign. The 5 stepping up for us are Chanuzun, Krejci, Camarda, Seiwald, and experienced man Ruben Neves as the deciding taker. Vinny steps up first for Real, and he makes no mistake. Chanuzun, as mentioned, is first for us. Please. Yes! He smashes it home! Arda Güler is next for them. And his pen just about goes in. Solakis got his hand to it, but it wasn't enough. Krejci then slotted his in as he always does. before Bellingham sent Solakis the wrong way. Camarda then did the same to Huetglas. Dean Huijsen is next. Go on, Solakis. Oh! Seiwald steps up for our fourth pen. And he... Go on, please. No! Fuck! Now it's centre-back Eder Militao who steps up. If he scores, he wins it for Real Madrid. Eder Militao, if he scores, they win. No! What the fuck? Are you serious, Solakis? Man. So we lose the Champions League final in the most cruel fashion possible. What a run though, in our first ever UCL campaign. And it might just be like the FA Cup, that we have to lose some pens the year before winning the competition. Let's hope for that. Silly season in F1. The concept of drivers moving in between teams like musical chairs. Well, that's what's happening in the world of football after Pep got fired by Arsenal. The Gunners have now hired Luis Enrique to replace him. With him leaving PSG, Arne Slot left Liverpool to join Al Khelaifi in Qatarland. So the Liverpool job is now available. But not for long, because Antonio Conte's joined. So that means the Napoli job is up for grabs. And they've tried to grab me. I declined and moved on to our transfer business. We sold a lot of players, as Rodrigo Gomes left for 20, Hugo Bueno for just shy of 10, Solakis and Sjöwall for 50 each, Ayer for 18.5, and finally Kislyak for 57. I didn't really want to sell Kislyak, but he demanded it, so I had no choice. In January of last season, we agreed a deal to sign Nico Paz for free from Como. That's such a good signing. Another couple lads joined for free, with England #1 Dean Henderson joining the club, as well as Darwin Núñez.
For that.
We then tried to bring in Victor Osimhen, but he had some interesting demands.
This is my game, you know.
To replace Sjöwall, we brought in two right-backs, in Conor Bradley and Ben White for 48 and 27 million respectively. And the final signing is a big one, with Castello Luqueba joining the Wolves for 87 million from Red Bull Leipzig. You'd think our new squad in our new tactical setup would whip anyone's ass, but we lost 4-2 to Man City in the Community Shield.
Yeah, that's how it is.
A meeting with former players Parrott and Arias followed. With this happening, John Arias now, former player, crosses it for another former player, Troy Parrott! Oh my god, you literally couldn't write that. Thankfully, we came back in the second half with Adeyemi and Nusa getting one each, to not be embarrassed by our former players. Enrique's Arsenal is next, the club swapping between all the great Spanish managers. Nusa continued like he started the season, and got the only goal to claim a good win. Adeyemi got an incredible solo run goal to open the affair with Brighton. Takes it past his man, and another man. Down into their box, to the byline. Oh! Oh my god, what a run! But Nusa didn't want to be any worse, so he did this. Takes it with him, past Baleba, into their box. A Rabona cross into Samim Kindred, who gets his first goal of the season. Wow! And with a nice move late on as well, it ended with a 5-2 win. Man United at home was a painful one, with Seško humiliating us. Cuts inside and plays a great ball over the top to Seško. And what a finish, bro. The right back. Oh my days. Amad Diallo into our box. Krejci. Oh. Marcus Rashford takes it past our defense. Oh. And there's 3-1. Samim Kindred then did this. Kindred takes it. Oh my god. What the fuck? What a goal! Even with what should be the Puskás winner this year, it wasn't enough, as we lost 3-2 to drop points for the first time. That horror performance got carried into our 2-1 loss to Brentford, before we humiliated Sunderland at the Stadium of Light. A couple injuries then came, but a positive as well, with Kindred getting his first senior England call-up. Nico Paz and Nusa had a performance of a lifetime against Liverpool, as they got a goal each to claim a huge 3-2 win. Then came an easy win over West Ham, a poor 1-1 tie with Fulham, and an even worse 1-0 loss to Man City, which means we're 5th after 10 games, behind some surprising teams: Everton, Brentford and Newcastle. Everton managed by Ange, by the way. Now that's a comeback.
It's just who we are, mate.
Our second UCL campaign, following on from the heartbreaking final loss last year. We open away to Ajax and concede first. It's Jim into our box, across, and there's 1-0. Kenneth Taylor makes it happen. In the second half, however, Samim Kindred had made his mind up. He was gonna save us. Come on, can our boy of wonder create something? Yes, he can. Goes past this man into their box. Yes, come on! Back to their goalie. Win that. Yes, Ruben Neves. Go on, Gonzalo Ramos! What a sub! Yes, Ruben Neves. Very good. Niklas Eiwalt. Gonzalo Ramos out to Samim Kindred, the lad who's created so much this game. Samim Kindred plays it to Nico Paz. Let's go! On his Champions League debut for Wolves. Moukoko at Copenhagen. A weird move from the so promising youngster. Well, against us he had a time of his life. Oh no. Moukoko goes through our entire team and scores. Fuck this shit.
Ooh, you're hard.
We did get 2 back to claim a single point, but a poor performance and results. Some early missed chances for both sides was the case as PSG once again visits the Molineux. Maradona even missed this. 5 minutes later, however, he scored this. So he misses this and scores that. Just 5 minutes into the second though, Nico Paz picks it up this time. Chanuzin! No! What? What a goal! Oh my days! So 1-1, just like last year. A big save from Donnarumma and an even better save from Ogbu to get it off the line came first at Etihad. A bit of chaos in their box made it possible for Chanuzin to tap it in just minutes before the break. But before said break, Ben White fell asleep on the job, as he failed to react to the rebound from Foden's bar hit, so Marmoush got the equalizer. It seems like we're doing the exact same as last year, with 1 win and then draws everywhere you see. That wouldn't be the case against Leipzig though. We somehow managed to blow a 2-0 lead by giving them 2 goals, and Schlager also scoring this. Ramos then got it back level, but we conceded straight from kickoff. Hang on, we've got a pen. In the 90th minute, Ladislav Krejci steps up. And he misses. Wow.
But we didn't score.
Thankfully, Ruben Neves and Adeyemi gave us a bit of an undeserved win over Juve to finally get a win again. Despite being torn apart early on at the San Siro, we hit back at Inter, with Nusa scoring this, and Ruben Neves getting the second with a tap-in. Not long after, however, Barella got it back level. What can only be described as a masterclass followed.
Nope. Nope. Nope.
And after all of that pressure, we got the winner in the 81st. Unfortunately, we're now out of reach of top 8. So a 1-1 draw with Frankfurt gave us 13th place in the league phase and a place in the knockout playoff round. Returning to the league, Jose is once again throwing a media fit. This time he said it's all about desire. I wonder how that went last time. The man that's yet to show up and perform did exactly that to open the game, as Darwin Núñez got an assist and a goal. In the space of 3 minutes, however, the Darwin show turned into the Gesand show. Krejci then got us back in the lead with a weird headed goal from Fatih's shots. But Gesand completed his show with a tap-in to make it 3-3. A penalty goal from Chanuzin made it a 1-0 win over Spurs, before a goal from Nico Paz and a brace from Ramos secured another win over Norwich. Some bad news and some good news were now in order. The bad was the injuries to Lekeba and Darwin, but the good very much outweighs the bad, as Luis Enrique's been sacked by Arsenal. The club is in free fall, while also swallowing world-class managers' careers for breakfast. Keith Andrews is the next in charge, and his first match in charge was a 4-1 loss to Man U. They're 15th! A boring 1-1 draw with a Newcastle side in good form followed, before Nico Paz missed a pen against Ange's high-flying Everton. Thankfully, the Argentinian pulled this out of his ass. Another boring draw with relegation-destined Nottingham Forest came next, before some entertainment was finally back, as we hammered Palace 4-0. An early start away at the Stamford Bridge was a nice way of opening the game. Then this happened. Liam Delap is through. Oh! What the fuck? How has he saved that? Quenda then did what Chelsea brought him there to do, and he uses it well as he goes down before crossing, and Liam Delap equalizes in the 52nd minute. No! You can't be serious, man. Nico Paz got it back level, before they got the lead again. Delap again. At the death though, Adeyemi, go past. Yes, he goes past Hato. To the... Yes! Adeyemi, the hero off the bench! Let's go! Such a lucky finish, but I don't give a shit. And with a 2-1 win over Burnley as well, it means we're in second. A single point behind Conte's Liverpool means we're seriously in the title fight this year. We continue the good run we're on, by beating Bournemouth in space apparently. Nico Paz then got our second against Brighton to claim yet another win, before genuinely running all over Manchester United. Nusa, Chan Usun and Nico Paz put in a great performance to claim a 2-0 win. But against the side I've been taking the piss out of, we somehow lost 3-2. Gyökeres made the difference, with a good finish and an assist to Enoneri late on.
Karma is real.
The only business we did in January was to send Seivalt on loan to Milan and bring in Danilo from Botafogo to replace him. We didn't need to do any more, as we're in the form of our lives. That showed in our 2-1 win over Brentford. And again with Sunderland visiting. Goals from Fati, Ogbu and Wonderboy Samim Kindred made it a 3-1 win going into our Champions League playoff round. We've been drawn the Basque club of Athletic Club. Away at the snowy San Mamés Stadium, we need to get off to a good start. Sunset to Rincon. Rincon cuts inside into our box and he scores 1-0. Oh, well, the second half proved much better fortunately, with the aforementioned Wonderboy making it happen. Chanuson out to Samim Kindred. Okay, he's on the right even though I moved him into the middle and he goes on a great run and Chanuson taps it in! Let's go! 1-1! Come on. Cuts it back. Alex Scott crosses for Kindred. Let's go. Come on. Kindred, the super sub. With the corner. 87th minute. To the far post. Go Ogbu. We simply continued that performance in the second leg, with Nusa finding Adeyemi early on, before our two attacking mids Nico Paz and Chanuson got one each. An easy game with Norwich visiting came next, and if we win, we move past Liverpool to take the top spot. Cernak takes it past Pacho with ease and fucking scores. Cernak scores. Plays it to Cernak. Gets to go. Oh, Pacho, bro. All of a sudden you can't move your legs. Cordoba out to Crisene. Like, what is this defending? Crisene, oh my god! I'm having a breakdown here. Well, that didn't go to plan. It's like whenever we get close to Liverpool, or have the chance to go past them, we shit ourselves.
A disorder called the yips.
The yips didn't stop there, with title rivals Newcastle claiming a win against us as well. But we'd have to shake the yips off us. as Benfica is next up in the round of 16. The winners of the league phase, so a tough matchup. It certainly didn't seem that though, as we took the lead 2 minutes in. Before the game, I had a chat with Chanuzan, telling him he needed to step up, and he certainly did that.
Plays it to Pacho. Great ball over the top to Nico Paz. Nico Paz across the box for Chanuzan to tap in to get his second.
Their only threat offensively, Luka Bacchio, did get one back for the Lisbon side. But with a Samim Kindred in the form of his short life, we got both the third and fourth goal. Like so many times before in this game though, we gave Luka Bacchio too much space. So he got his second to make it a game for the second leg in Lisbon. Samim Kindred continued his form away to Benfica.
Okay, Kindred. Oh wow, he gets to it. Kindred! He continues like last game. Wow!
Another special player, Nusa, then got humiliated by Luka Bacchio. He got so angry that he conceded a pen. But
Luka Bacchio. Yes, Dino!
Our hero was brought right back down to earth, however, as he played a loose pass which Ivanovic and Sudakov pounced on. Araujo then got a headed goal from a corner at the death, but it wasn't enough for the Eagles, as Wolverhampton are through to the quarters again. Samim Kindred once again got involved in a goal-scoring apartment against Bournemouth.
Alex Scott. Out to Kindred, who takes it past his man with a brilliant first touch and scores again!
That meant a 5-2 win and an important win in the title fight. I know I'm going on and on about Kindred, but just look at the lad. He's in the form of his life, and it shows. He's now listed as a wonder kid, and he's valued at 47 to 65 million. He's actually the best striker at the club, ahead of Gonzalo Ramos and Darwin Núñez. In a must-win game away to Spurs, we didn't win. Even though it looked like it for a long time, Van de Ven got the equalizer as the literal last thing to happen. Multiple draws follow, with 1-1 results against Aston Villa and Crystal Palace. And the 2-2 draw with Burnley was the last straw in our title bid. So we ended up finishing 4th, in yet another season of being so close, but not quite there. Newcastle have won the Premier League, by the way. That's kinda nuts. For us, it means full focus on the Champions League, as we're out of both the domestic cups and out of the title race. Frankfurt is our opponents in the quarters, a side we drew 1-1 with in the league phase, so a tough game. It didn't show though, as we dominated from the first minute of the first leg. Adeyemi, Alex Scott and Mikey Moore got the goals, as we have a massive advantage into the away leg in Germany. The one thing we needed to not happen, happened. Just 4 minutes in, with Ruben Neves tripping up Elliot Anderson to give them a pen. Jonathan Burkhardt slotted it away to make it a game all of a sudden. They really took advantage of that momentum, with Burkhardt getting another back not even 20 minutes in. And then he scored yet again right before the interval. They've undone all our work from the first leg in 44 minutes. Now though, it was our turn to get lucky, as Nusa's shot deflected heavily off Atangana to go in, and give us the lead on aggregate again. And now we had the momentum, and we took advantage. Adeyemi from Nico Paz's great switch of play got our second, and the latter also got a goal late on to make it 3-3, and a 6-3 win on aggregate to make it through to the semis. In said semis, we'd face none other than Hansi Flick's Barcelona, and we're away at Camp Nou for the first leg. They did only just get through from the league phase though, getting 24th, so we might have a chance. We had more than a chance, as we got a 3-0 lead 33 minutes in. Adeyemi got the first with a solo goal of a lifetime. Kindred then pounced on a poor pass from Juan Garcia, before Chanuzan got a tap-in rebound from Nico Paz's shot. 3-0 at Camp Nou. Now that's a statement. But Lamine Yamal had enough, so he orchestrated an attack to get one back. And then they got a second back right before the end to make it a nervy 1-goal game in the second leg. The day before our deciding second leg, Lukeba got injured. So if we don't win, he's out for the season. The first half of the second leg was a cagey affair, with the first and only chance coming 4 minutes before the break.
Place it through to Colomwani. Oh.
The second half continued in the same way, but with a couple of missed chances from Barcelona this time. But as I was getting ready for extra time, a highlight appeared.
Oh, Darwin Núñez through to Nico Paz. Nico Paz. Nico Paz! Come on! On the stroke of full time. Yes!
Borussia Dortmund is the UEFA Champions League final opponent. They got here by getting 8th in the league phase, and therefore going straight at around 16. There, they beat Atletico Madrid on penalties, with our former player Rodrigo Mora putting away the deciding penalty. A comfortable 3-1 aggregate win over Sporting followed, before knocking out another team on penalties. This time, Manchester City. Everyone but one scored their pen, with the boyhood Man City player Phil Foden being the culprit. Dortmund are without their captain Nico Schlotterbeck for the final, so that's a big advantage for us. Now, it's time. Our former player Mora was on it from the off, as he very almost got them an early goal. A near own goal in our favour then followed, with them also just about getting it cleared. Just 4 minutes later, however, this happened.
To Adeyemi. Karim Adeyemi through to Chanuzan. Back to Adeyemi, through on net. Karim Adeyemi scores just like he did against Real Madrid in last year's final. Adeyemi against his former club. Come on! 18 minutes in and we lead 1-0. Come on! Yes! Let's go!
From there, we dominated. Kindred missed a good chance from Nusa's very nice pass over the top, before he got another bite at the cherry.
Bayer picks up the... Yes, Nusa, well done. Just go, lad. Go, go. Play... Yes, plays it to Chanuzan. Chanuzan goes inside. Plays a nice pass to Ruben Neves. Samim Kindred. Samim Kindred! Come on! Our boy of wonder from Wolverhampton scores for Wolverhampton Wanderers in the UEFA Champions League final. Samim Kindred!
So, 2-0 up in the Champions League final. That seems awfully familiar. The exact same position as last year, and we all know how that ended. But something's different this year. It can't really be explained, but I can feel it. And it showed as we continued dominating, which ultimately culminated in this.
William Pacho. Lukeba. To Ben White. Nice play. Chanuzan out to Adeyemi. Karim Adeyemi. Chanuzan. Back to Karim Adeyemi. Adeyemi into the box. Adeyemi makes it 3. His second of the night against his former club. Come on. And it's all but guaranteed.
With that, the final whistle blew. Wolverhampton Wanderers are champions of Europe. Following on from heartbreak last season, we hit back in incredible fashion. Småen Dyche has done it. We've done it. And with that, we're finished. The series is over. Let me know what you want me to do on FM26.